Yeah. So me as a automation test engineer in this field for like more than 8 years now, I've been using many platforms for automating various aspects of applications. Like I've been come across web applications, the front end and both back end APIs, mobile applications, interactive APIs, etc. So when it comes to automation, it's huge, and for each of the platforms, like when it comes to web automation, it has, as I said, both backend and front end. So we need to choose platforms separately to automate web UI, the APIs which are running backend, and then if there is a mobile front end, again we need to find a different platform for that. So as the number of application increases, number of platforms these applications are used increases, the as a test engineer we'll have to find that n number of platforms to run and test these applications. So a company has to invest a lot, I mean, procuring so many applications and tools just to test one product on different platforms. So it would be very handy if everything is tested using one single tool or a platform. So that's when Testenium as a product, as a multi-computing, meta-computing platform excited me as a automation test engineer. Because with Testenium, I just found that I'll not have to go to different tools and platforms. I just need to be a user of Testenium, where it has everything hosted in cloud. So I can test web applications using Selenium. I can use their API feature to test my backend APIs and interactive APIs. I can do load testing, test if my API or the front end host the number of users using their load testing results. I can use their the handy BDD format to test everything and to get the source code. So I can see a number of features which includes even the mobile app testing application. So the number of features that Testenium provides as one meta computing platform is something really exciting for a test engineer or a company, where they can just cut down all their costs, procure one platform, replacing all the n number of platforms they use for testing. So in with respect to explaining how each of these features have been useful to me as a user, so I've been using Testenium's Selenium feature to test my web application. So we just have to go give the feature file, which is also a simple UI they have made. So we just don't want to type the given when, then it's already given in the UI. So you'll just have to play around like an end user. So even the automation skill is not required when a person is going to use Testenium. So a product based knowledge of their product is more than enough. So you just go like an end user, give the feature file in the UI, and it just gives you the source code. The Selenium source code is just given, and you can validate the results, and you can use the source code if you want to automate the entire application. So it's just that simple, and there's no record and playback just like the other tools do. It's like pure source code they just build, so which is like a major advantage I see with Testenium. And when it comes to APIs, I've been experienced with APIs for at least 3 years now, and it's not an easy job to test APIs as a test engineer, because you need to install a proper tool, and using a tool is not that easy, because you have a very number of tools in market now to test APIs, and the UI is definitely not simple, because you need to understand the API. There's so much that goes before you kind of test the APIs. Like you have to give the proper payload, you have to know what the header is, you have to do so much prerequisite setup before you even just get the response body or the return status of the API. But with Testenium, they have just made everything in a simple one place UI, where you have to just give the base URL, just input the payload, the request payload, even that is made as simple UI. So the user need not give the entire payload. The user has an option to add the payload, the fields in the request payload as a UI option in Testenium. And the authentication code is not something you give explicitly like the other tools ask you, because in other tools you have to give the auth code explicitly, which is not, it's kind of fiddly. So in Testenium, you'll have to just give the server where the auth code is to be fetched, and it does that job. So it's very simple API testing in Testenium, and it almost covers all the API methods that test engineer would want, right, starting from get method, post, patch, delete, or update. So you just have everything covered when it comes to API testing in a very simple, understandable UI. And I'm also very much impressed with the fraction of seconds it takes to compute everything and give you the results, and everything is cloud based, which is like even more exciting and safe. So this is with APIs. And next, coming to the load testing feature, I know companies spend a lot procuring a load testing tool. With Testenium, it's again made easier. You will just have to input the number of users or the load that you need the API or the UI to cover, and then it just manipulates and gives you the results in minutes. So it's very simple, and it says if your API or if your application just holds the data that you expect. So the load testing part it's really simple with respect to Testenium. And finally, when everything is automated, you just find it a different time allocated to write the feature file. You'll have to then generate the code in different test classes. But with Testenium, everything is made easy. You can just give n number of feature files. There's no limitation to the number of feature files in Testenium, and it's nothing that you have to write. It's already there. The UI is there, and it's just that you go and fill in like a end user and give any number of feature file, and Testenium generates you the 100% source code that you can use for your automation framework, and it also gives you the result of your tests. So I think it's as simple as that. And I'm really impressed as a automation test engineer, because it's just making life easy, that it's giving results in minutes, and it just saves our the amount of energy and the money that you spend on procuring number of platforms and tools. So in that case, I think Testenium is going to be a delight to any company to just kind of get results in a fraction of second, because down to the concept, it's a meta computing platform, and you can just eliminate a number of tools if we use one testing platform to cover everything. So yeah, I hope everybody gives a try about the number of features Testenium offers, and I'm sure it's going to be a delightful fruit to every one of us. Thank you.